Welcome to That's What We Think with Connie and Steve.
I think I'm gonna
Hello,
have
Mr. Allergy Steve.
yes, Mr. Allergies and also Mr. Fool Guy who had on his glasses. And now they're the only pair I have. So they're all warped. Can't put them on. So either it's gonna be a combination today because people haven't seen me. Yes, I got the haircut too.
Yep.
Um, but it's gonna be me putting them on and putting them off because they're just so look at them, Connie. Look, they're a mess.
I think
Oh.
you can bring them to an optometrist and they can fix them.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, you know what I heard? A blow dryer. Put
What?
the blow dryer on
You
high
did you don't
and it
you
kind
d
of melts it. And then not melts it, it softens it. And then that way it's more malleable and you can reshape it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where
How do
did
you
you
think
hear
that they do it?
I don't know, I've
Not
never really
necessarily a blow dryer, but some kind of heat to
Huh.
kind of make it the arms malleable. So now, I mean, you may need your screws adjusted.
I'm laughing at this now and thinking, "No, it's sorry, this is way past blow dryer. Look at this, look at it." Like,
Oh,
really
yeah, that's metal.
and I hate these glasses, you know that? I've been complaining
He
about them forever,
so
so maybe this is the sign.
and maybe Stephen did this on purpose.
Well,
Just saying.
sometimes, I'm telling
Hmm.
you, there's always a little bit of something in there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah. Let's
yeah.
let's try to see
Anyway,
if I can get new pair.
and
And
you know
Stephen
what?
looks so, like, snazzy with his nice
Look in the
short
back. See, it just
summer
look like
cut.
that.
Yeah, he wanted to make himself look like his younger self.
Let's do the pose now, see?
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
my god. Anyways, my
You just
friend,
need the
how are
black
you?
shirt.
Oh, I know. I was
Yeah.
going to wear a black shirt today. It's a good thing I didn't.
We're
So
kinda
how
matching.
I know. And you said, speaking of glasses, that you are free and clear, but you are wearing
Well, not
progressives
I'm not
now?
free and clear. I
Well,
have to get
from any sort of weird issues with
well,
your eyes.
yeah. Well, now we know I need progressives, so I have to go get these, bring
Yep,
them in, get
yep.
the new lens. I just have to do that part.
It's not cheap
Oh, I
to
know.
have
That's why
progressives.
I'm gonna reuse this frame.
Yeah.
Save me some kind of
Oh my
money.
god. That's why, even though sitting on these glasses is somewhat funny, the fact of the matter is they are progressives, and that means it's gonna cost a fortune to get
Yeah.
new ones, and
Yeah, it's the lens that costs
do you
money.
know, isn't that insane that we're penalized for trying to see? Like,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous the amount that you have to pay for progressives. They are
yeah.
really
Well, it's
thank
like
God for
hearing
insurance.
aids. Hearing aids are the same thing, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
usually when you start needing hearing aids, you no longer have the insurance that you used to have, right? Because 'Cause you're not working necessarily, you're retired, so you don't have the same kind of insurance coverage unless you got private insurance. So
Do you
you're
know
paying out of pocket for it, which
and
is
this
kind
is
of funny, like, not funny, but sad.
we used to look, we've been on this for a while now. And welcome back, everybody. We've been away for a little bit, and one of the things that we've been doing here on our show is just doing a that was then, this is now retrospective,
Comparison
and so many things. The more that Connie and I talk about this, the more that we realize just how much, in so
has
many ways,
changed.
good and bad. There's
Yep.
been both, but with a mixture.
Oh, of course.
And I can say, I mean, we've talked about health, but I will mention. Um, how things have changed, particularly, like, for example, when going to get your eyes checked, that used to be covered under OHIP. We
Yeah.
used to have it covered completely, and I know kids
Yep.
nowadays, you'll see you have to pay. You didn't
Well,
before.
the young kids don't. If you're
Exactly.
under 18, you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Over, you have to pay. And I don't know, do you have to pay when you're a senior?
I don't know. I've never asked. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
we're
should
almost
ask my
there.
mom.
Maybe we should ask
I
ourselves.
know.
Right?
55 plus, come
Right?
on.
I know. That's another thing we have to deal with, the fact that we can't dismissively talk about seniors without referring now to ourselves.
Well, it
Oh
depends
my
on when
god.
seniors to me, senior is somebody over the age of 70.
I think seniors to the kids is anybody over the age of 30. you know,
Yes, depending
right?
on the age, you are
But I
that
will s
that variable moves,
it's just it's what's interesting is just how much things have changed in regards to what we have to pay for. And whereas before we took for granted because with our healthcare system here in Canada, we actually have a very good one. We really do. However, as time has gone on, in our lifetime, in Gen X lifetime, we've seen it go from this world-class, incredible system that's designed to provide care for all of us
Yep.
to a situation where people are literally paying for things that they really didn't have to pay for
No.
before. And
The
it's a
irony
shock.
too is so many people saying it's a terrible system and then vote conservative, who are the ones who have been starving the system. And I mean, I'm not saying
The
liberals have
liberals have
have
done it.
done
Yeah,
stuff as well,
they have.
right?
Sure.
Um, so they're not off the hook,
They really
but
aren't.
but I mean, Doug Ford right now is really doing a number on our healthcare and and to say, "Oh, we need new nurses, we're going to get nurses from the US." Well, in order to get nurses from the US, you've got to fund the hospitals. You can have as many nurses as possible, but if you're closing down floors in a hospital, not giving them the funding that they need to operate, there are hospitals that are closing down. If you live in the GTA, you get pretty good healthcare. As soon as you go beyond that, and you go to Northern Ontario or other provinces, you could be years without a doctor because all the doctors want to be here, which is why when we had that one episode where if I were the prime minister, what I would do, and I said I would pay for education for nurses and doctors, but then for the next 5 years, they have to work to paying that free education off. They have to work where the
Tell them
government
to.
says
Uh,
they need to in order to
mm.
stop everyone from congregating in Toronto. And same with the doctors who are coming from overseas. Don't make it so difficult for them to become a doctor here. In India, dementia is treated like diabetes.
Mhm.
They call it diabetes 4 or something like that. So they treat it like that with success. We can learn from other places as well.
What frightens me sometimes about North America, it feels like it's an island mentality, separate compared to other countries around the world. And specifically when it comes to our healthcare system, we look down at the United States. We look down on them prior to stuff that's going on now because we really did have it good and we didn't have to pay for it like they do. People in America go bankrupt over their healthcare
Yeah.
costs.
And
And
that's
there's a reason for
when
that.
they have insurance.
And there is a reason for that. There's a reason why that country, out of all the world countries, does not have a universal healthcare system in place. It always boils down to racism. They do not want what other people can have access to. So
Hmm.
they will not let anyone have it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder if that diseased mindset is trickling its way into our system where people who are voting for against their best wishes, i.e., sometimes conservatives, who are seeing their local hospitals closed or their emergency centers closed,
Hmm.
um, are voting against their wishes because they don't want everybody else to have it. With that said, it's not to say that things are dire, although our healthcare system and our healthcare team, people would say is quite a different story based on being in it, as they have
Hmm.
every right to say. And they are working their ass off with their depleted resources. Oh my God.
Oh,
I have nothing but praise for the people that work in our healthcare system. They really work
mhm.
hard, but it's more concerning that our voters are not grasping. I don't know. Is it the media? They're not talking
I
about
don't
it. I
know.
don't
I
know,
think
Con.
it's no, I think the media is talking about it. I think there's a conversation going, and I think that people do understand, for the most part, what is going on and what Doug Ford is doing to our healthcare. Um, However, I think the axe sometimes convinces the forest that
Right,
they are one of them because their handle is made out of wood
right.
and they vote for him, and then the axe cuts down half the trees because profit is more important. I don't know if up here, yes, absolutely,
Yes, yes.
racism does play a point in
Profit
the
too.
States for sure, but profit, and Doug Ford has proven himself to be one of those ones who love to make sure that his wealthy friends are getting wealthier.
Mhm. And that's why now you're seeing little things trickle in that you didn't have to put like
Yeah.
again, I've used this example before, being in Life Labs, and which is in Canada, Life Labs is a place where you can go and get your blood work done.
Yep.
And hospitals and doctors send you there to get your tests done. And there was a
Life
time when you
Labs is a private company.
it wasn't before,
No,
but it became, I think it's American owned now, I
I
believe.
think so.
Um, and now you're seeing costs trickle in that now they say, well, if you want to get a test done, get it done at the hospital,
Yeah.
by your doctor who works at the hospital. It still saddens me that people aren't grasping it. This guy, I never forget him. He was so upset that he had to pay $80. He was, I didn't pay. I don't remember having to vote for this. How did this happen? It's like, well, if you were paying attention,
Mhm.
you would see that this has been happening. It's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I don't know. There seems to be a disconnect. And
Yeah.
I don't know. With us talking about this, we try to infuse obviously our usual typical banter, but some
Mhm.
reality, harsh truths. And it's not to judge and it's not to lecture. It's just to again raise awareness that there are things happening that we want you to know about.
Yeah.
And one of them is watching our healthcare, especially in Ontario, really pay attention to what's
Yeah.
going on. But
And as all the Gen X's age, we are aging. The only alternative to aging is dying. So as we age, we're going to need more and more our health care. And that's when we're going to notice things. And yet, you still see them voting
I
for it.
know.
So
And even then, like if we compare then to now, I mean, I remember when my dad had to go to the hospital years and years ago, like it was I remember sitting in the waiting room and of course people could smoke in there, which defies imagination that you
I
can
know.
smoke in the hospital, but you could. The nurses had the old school white uniforms, remember, with the
Yep.
hats? And
And the
all of
pantyhose.
it. And the food was made in the hospital, fresh cooked
Yeah.
for the patients. And then you compare it and you can see over time how little chops here and cuts here start to make a difference.
Hmm.
And even with Robbie, when he was in the hospital, God, 20 years ago now, the hospitals do their best to provide their patients with some sort of nutritious meals, but they're relying on outside companies.
A lot of it is packaged.
That's exactly it. And it might not be. So you got to watch that. Good nutrition actually helps patients heal better.
Of
But for some
course.
strange reason, it's decided that, well, no, that doesn't matter anymore because we got to save money. And that's what's changed a lot too over the years. You just see it. You could see the little cuts happening here and
Yeah.
there and how it affects your service.
Yeah. And packaged food, the furthest thing from health food.
Absolutely the
They say it all
furthest
the
thing.
time.
But I can't ever see it going back to the way it was. Do you? I mean, unless
No.
there's billions and billions and billions pushed into it. And even then, I don't even
Yeah.
know
I don't think so. I mean, look at gas right now, how expensive gas is because of the
because of
stupid war.
him, because of that
Right.
orange fool.
We're going to start saying $1.77 per liter is cheap gas. That's what we're going to start saying because now when we see $1.77, we go get gas and the gas companies are going to be like, awesome. So even when things get back to normal, if there is like I don't know when that's going to happen, but when that does happen, the gas companies are just going to keep the price where it is. It's never going to
Abs-
go back to where it
no,
was,
no.
you know?
This is our future. It's the insane greed is
Yeah.
killing us. And the crap part of being a Gen Xer, the really shitty part about this is that we knew what life was like before things got stupid.
Yeah.
And look, we had a discussion with family over the weekend. You talk about things and like you
Mhm.
compare and say, "Oh, is it really as bad as it is? Like, are we
As
making
we
it out
think.
as we think it is?" The truth of the matter is, we don't know because when we were younger, the amount of news we got wasn't always
No.
in your face. Now we're 24/7. We weren't meant to handle all
And
of
we
this
were
crap.
young then too. We were kids, so
Right.
we're remembering things through a child's
Fair enough.
perspective.
But even in our teenage years, when you started to see stuff and you became more aware, we still weren't bombarded with stuff. We knew the news was rough. That's the
Right.
way it is, but we still
Yeah.
could live a life. And nowadays, the younger generation, this
Yeah.
is the world they know. They know it's going to be $1.77 a liter, whatever it is for
Mhm.
gas. This is normal.
Yeah.
But for us, we're struggling with the fact that it was 40 cents. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we remember
I
that.
know.
And you can't say that,
$5 could give you a half a tank.
right? And you can't say, "Oh, well, this is progress." No, this isn't progress. This is a
Mm-mm.
difference. This is greed.
Yes,
And
it is.
we are watching this
Yes,
and
especially
powerless.
when you see their announcement on their profits for the quarter and they go, "Record-breaking
Yep.
profits this year." I'm sorry, that should be illegal because you're not doing, "Oh, we raised our pay scale to
Mm.
record-breaking points."
Or we're passing these amazing profits onto our consumers so they can save. That's
Yeah.
not happening.
No, the employees are getting screwed because they're still making the exact same amount of money that they made when they were making way less money.
Yep.
But these record breaking profits keep rolling in quarter after quarter after quarter, and we're all getting screwed. We're not getting paid
Absolutely.
enough, and we're not saving.
Saving enough. And here's what's driving me crazy. This weekend, there was this report on how we can save a buck. Here's what you can do to plan your meals. It was very disappointing segment on CBC. And I thought to myself, please stop focusing on how we need to save our money. Please start focusing on why the profits are so big. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with inflation. It has nothing to do with our spending habits on people who do not make millions of dollars. This is about greed, and you know it.
yeah.
But you can't report on that because they control it.
Very easy to make people feel guilty
Oh
about
yeah.
how they're spending their money and make them feel like they're doing something wrong, as opposed to, no, these companies are doing something wrong.
Absolutely. I think Kevin O'Leary recently was in the hot seat and for being such a shit for brains about doing something
Yeah.
stupid, saying something similar, blaming youngsters for the fact that they weren't able to afford certain things in life
Yes. Kevin O'Leary right now is being a bigger jackass than normal. He is opening up the largest data center in Utah. Um,
with plans for Alberta. You heard
yeah.
about that, eh?
It's devastating already what the data centers that are up and running are doing to the locals in those areas, to their water supply.
Yeah.
AOC went to one place in Georgia, and they were looking at the water that was coming out of the tap that used to run
Yeah.
clear, and it's brown now. And they passed the okay to build the data center without anybody. They kicked everybody out of the chambers who were voting against it or speaking up against it. They kicked them out and passed it anyways, you know?
Well, Gen X is getting its hero back. Erin Brockovich, apparently she's back.
Yes.
She's back and she's advocating now for anti-AI centers and boy, do we need a voice. And if
Yeah.
anybody's gonna be able to do it, it'll be her. So
Yeah.
there's a loud Gen X cheer for her. But but on a more serious note,
And for those who don't know Erin Brockovich, it was a case on water, wasn't it,
yep,
before?
that's right. It was poisoning a town and
Yeah,
she
and
was
everyone was ending up with cancer.
yeah.
She was a
She wasn't a legal assistant. She just worked, she happened to
Yeah,
work
I
in
think
an
she was just a
office.
secretary, and then she started really delving into the legalities of it and
Yep.
studying. She ended up becoming a lawyer, didn't she?
That's right. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest, it's a good movie. It's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Julia Roberts is
if you
great.
wanna see, just educate yourself about what happened and what corporations will do if we let them do things without any checks and balances because they don't care about the environment. All they care about is how much money that they're gonna make. Even if they started out caring about the environment, they change because money changes them. And I'm not saying money is evil because money is just money.
I have to say, even with that, with the then and now, with these data centers, a good point was brought up over social media just about what happened to us when we were so green forward. It was so important to ensure an environmentally safe planet, ensuring that our children and our children's children would at least have some of the same benefits that we did.
Yeah.
For a while there, it did feel like we were on this path. Now, I can't just blame Trump for the huge U-turn that's happening, although you can with his
No, a
recent
lot of that
announcements.
sits at his
I'm
feet because
sorry.
he has recoiled all of the EPA.
His recent announcement to allow drilling in the Grand Canyon, come on, Americans, wake up. For God's sake, do
Yeah.
something. But But with AI's data centers in general, I don't know what they're for. I'm
Oh,
scared to go down. Oh, I know, but I'm also there's a nefarious reason for this.
mm.
And this explosion of them everywhere. And I'm concerned, like, for citizens who really don't want them are still not being able to stop it. They're
Yeah.
telling their government representatives no, but it doesn't matter. It's terrifying to see what's happened here because we have no idea and we have no control. Whereas in the past, when people rose up and people really did raise up against, plans that the government may have had for cities or for townships or for water or for whatever the
Mhm.
case may be, voices were heard and things were changed. But this case, I've never seen anything like it,
No.
where people's
No,
opinions
because
are
they're,
completely
like,
ignored.
saying, "We
Ignored.
need it. We
For
need these data
what?
centers."
What is it? Why are you using good
Yeah,
water?
and it's how many people are even actually gonna be employed by
That's what
these
I want
data
to know.
centers?
Who's working in there?
Probably no one because they'll have AI doing it all.
See,
So, everyone thinking that, well, they're bringing jobs. For now, maybe.
there's maybe computer engineers that may need to fix
I
whatever's
don't
inside.
I don't think that they need to because AI can fix AI. That's the whole point of all of that.
They don't know what they want.
They want more and more money. I think all they're thinking of is themselves. There's so many people that voted for Trump
Right.
only thought of what was this going to do for them and their family, which is valid because we all want to make sure our families are taken care of
Right.
and that we have enough money to take care of them, and they bought into um the message that he was selling, even if it meant those people were going to end up having less as long as I had more.
Or didn't change, or
Or
nothing
didn't
nothing
change, yeah,
changed in my life.
like, everything is good, I can pay for my bills. I don't care what happens to those people.
In
But what
fact,
people have to learn is that what happens to those people ends up eventually happening to you.
if we
You're
had
not
if
special.
but that would require I'm going on this. That would require education. That would require the ability to question, and the comprehensive skills are no longer as assured as they were when
Yeah,
we were younger. It was important for you to have that comprehensive skill. You needed to have that, and it's
mhm,
been slowly removed from our systems so that there's no questioning what's going on and you just learn to
yeah,
accept. Or you're easily duped because you're not questioning what you're being told.
mhm,
And I do think it's more than just a case of, well, I don't care what they do. I think they do care what happens to them because as
mhm,
long as there's, and some, again, comes down to pain. Human beings are very rough. You can learn about some of the things that people used to do in the
yeah,
medieval days. Like, it is stunning
yeah,
the levels that we will go through to inflict pain on others. So their reasonings for voting for who they voted for is about pain. It is always about that. And even certain political parties, their mandate is to inflict pain. So why we haven't learned that lesson, we could be so far ahead. And this is what drives me crazy about our future. We can go in so many directions and we had the opportunity to move forward, but for some reason here on this particular pile of earth in North America, we seem to be struggling a little
yeah.
bit with the idea of moving forward. There's people
I
that,
think there are some people that are moving forward,
of
though.
course,
Like New York right
amazing.
now, Danny.
Yeah,
He wiped out their debt in a matter of weeks. How? By taxing the ultra wealthy. I think people have like this really skewed view of themselves. People who are upper middle class. I think they're rich.
right,
I think they think that they are
right.
the 1% or that they have they're very close to it. And it just, all they have to do is lower their taxes a little and they too will be the 1%. That's not true.
Yep.
It used to be that the 1% were taxed 90% on their income. That never affected them. It didn't take away their wealth. First off, it's on their income, and that money went to ensure that the middle class and the lower class and even the upper middle class did not pay as much because the other people were paying their fair share.
That's right.
Just because you make $250,000 does not mean that you are ultra rich.
We had gone to visit some family and driving around St. Catharines and Thorold, or some of the neighborhoods, very middle class neighborhoods, and realizing that it's dying. There's a slow death happening within that particular middle class. And it came up in conversation where we're just talking about older jobs that back in the day. We talked about this before, where could work in a department store and
Yeah.
maintain a life. But now a single house on a lot, they're being torn down and now they're building townhouses. So at least 3
Mhm.
or 4 units on a single lot. There was a time when you that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It was the dream of achievement was to get the house and the lot.
Actually, what was happening before in the '80s and '90s, if you remember, they were tearing down those wartime bungalows and putting up the McMansions on
Mansions,
them,
that's right.
so
That's changed.
yeah,
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 no longer
because now
that.
they know that they can actually make more money by putting the townhouses or stacked townhouses, which are like townhouses plus another one on top.
Yeah. On top of that, though, who can afford, like, I mean, Gen what is it? Who's below us? Gen Z now? A
Gen
millennial? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Whoever
Millennial
is
is right beneath us
right, are they able
or
to
right
afford
after us.
2 to $3 million for a home? I don't think so.
No.
So, they have to do something with it, so you sell the land, and that's what happens. Our lease
Mhm.
houses are losing that. But it was kinda sad just driving around and you're
Yeah,
seeing this loss. Who knows? Who knows what the future's gonna be? I do hope that it's not sounding like it's defeatism here. It's not. It's just highlighting again the one of the joys of talking about this topic is being able to have that ability to look at the past and then look at now and
and
maybe
kinda
even see
predict about what the future is gonna be.
a little
Yeah,
bit. But I honestly never dreamed that we would be here. Like, again, the promise of us growing up
mhm,
with Sesame Street and everything else, it is a shock to see just how not far we've come. And
yeah,
it's we did and then we didn't. It's crazy. We were climbing.
yeah,
We
we were,
were.
and then we
We
took a
were.
sharp decline.
But who and again, like, and this is where I'm putting it out there with people with Connie, but I also put it out there with you, like, ho what? It's not COVID, and please don't blame COVID. It's this is before
Oh
COVID,
god, no, it
way
was before.
before.
I think COVID just exacerbated things and made
Absolutely.
made whatever was happening happen faster.
Something changed where this sort of progress couldn't happen anymore. So so real efforts were made to claw back at all of the progress on in North America. I'm not talking about the
Yeah.
world. China and everything else, they're an entirely different story
Oh,
altogether.
they are, like, 2 decades ahead of
Oh my
us.
god, and even Europe, like, I look to Europe because one of my nieces was our cousin was talking about it, about their healthcare system too, and, just to circle back, and all the things that you can get there that we would have to pay an arm and a leg for here.
Yeah,
And again, right where I said at the beginning of the podcast, where I said it feels like North America is this island of regression now, where we've got people who are trying to fight hard, like Mamdani, hell, even Carney, you can throw in there, the prime minister,
mhm,
to try to push us forward. But there are some serious forces here that are determined to not allow that to happen.
yeah,
And I don't know as a voice for us, Connie, what else we can do other than bring awareness to
yeah,
talk about it.
and vote. Encourage
Uh,
everyone to vote.
we did. We
I know,
tried. We
I
tried.
know.
And
Unfortunately, they didn't listen. I
well,
mean,
we will
maybe
still
the
push
people
for
that do
it.
listen, listen.
I know. I know. We will still advocate and
Yeah,
push for it. But I do think that it just from the perspective of this, just looking at what we were talking most about healthcare and AI centers and everything else. And the AI itself is a conversation that I'm still trying to understand. And I think I'm
yeah,
scared about it because I don't know enough about it. Um, I don't know what the end goal is for it. This the direness of what people discuss when they do mention AI centers. There's discussion about AI centers coming to Ontario. In
yeah.
fact, there's one proposed, they say allegedly, for Hamilton's waterfront. Um,
Oh, you're kidding.
no, near the former Stelco sites, like just around there. it's alleged. So, but that sucking up the lake fresh water of our lake
Yeah.
should terrify everybody. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That should be something. So when people say focus more on your local government and get boots on the ground in your local government, that is a local government thing because obviously I'm sure Hamilton is pushing for it
Yeah.
because they're thinking of the money that could come into their I don't know what
What
like
money?
I think the problem is is that most of these people that are in government making these decisions and saying yes to whatever
Yeah.
are complete imbeciles who have absolutely no idea. They're as ignorant as we are
Yeah.
about what a center is, what it entails, what it can bring to the area, and all they're looking at is the dollar sign
Yep.
that they're being told will happen. They're not looking at anything else. Remember when in the States they were having this whole social media thing with Congress, and Congress was asking the most idiotic questions just to show their ignorance of not knowing what any of this is, right?
Right.
So I think that's what it is. I think that's where we are is that we have really old people that don't even know what the internet is, let alone what a data center is or what AI is and what it's going to do. I think that that's where we are is that we need to have somebody that's educated in this, explain to them. They need to educate themselves. There was a time when or I always thought when you're doing a job
Yeah.
that you actually needed to know things.
There was a
You
time.
had to be
Mhm.
smart about things.
Our
And I
government.
don't think that people are. I think that they're just like, "Oh, okay, well, Susie will tell me, my secretary or my assistant or my intern or whomever it is will tell me and they will inform me what it is.
Right.
I don't need to look into it. They can do it."
Well, there was a time even with our government, and we can attest to this in our younger days, when you ran for a government position, you really had to know your shit. It's an entirely different mindset now. Now it feels like the people that are running in politics are not doing it for the greater good. They are doing it for the greater profit for themselves.
Yeah.
Anything to enrich themselves. And that's when you know you're in danger with the government, which is why with local governments, especially now with Ontario, we are losing our voice. Um, as I mentioned before, people used to have real power when they were unhappy about things. But it's changing now. They're just rewriting the rules so that they aren't held accountable. We can look right now with our own government. And I always focus on our provincial government now. We
Yeah.
really do need to focus on Ontario because we are dealing with our own piece of crap in regards to who's in charge and what he's doing. And he is doing some pretty outstanding things to protect himself against being
Yeah. Caught.
looked at. The Freedom of Information Act, which we all rely on to hold our government accountable,
Mhm.
has been removed. He's removed that ability to check,
Yeah.
and it's shocking. This is how things have changed for us, and we're
Yeah.
watching this. Oh, I don't know, Connie. Sometimes I think, well, what are we gonna do? Do we have somebody else in place that we can vote for to fight this? But even with,
I
I don't
don't
even
know. I
know.
don't even see the opposition. The
I don't
only
either.
one I have been seeing say anything is Merritt Stiles, which is NDP.
Yeah,
I have no idea where the Liberals are at
they're
this.
a mess right now.
I don't even know who the Liberal leader is.
It's John Fraser, he's the interim leader, but right now there's infighting in regards to who should take over. It's pretty
Yeah.
bad. It's a real shame. This is not the moment for you to be fighting. This is the moment where you should be all together, but nope, we're in disarray.
Yeah.
And that terrifies me too,
Mhm.
because we could be stuck
Oh,
with
yeah,
this.
because down south in the States, it's the exact same thing. The Democrats are a lame duck doing absolutely nothing and letting all of this happen. Not even a voice to say this is wrong, nothing. It's radio silence. And I don't know if that is the media that has been radio silent on them. Nobody's asking them questions. David Ellison and his son now own all of the
Has that
media.
has that gone through?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I hadn't seen it. officially designed that they own CNN
Yeah.
yet. It hasn't really been said yet.
For CNN, I think it's
I th
going through, but CBS, that's why, Stephen
I
Colbert is
watched
gone
that.
now. Did you?
Well, I got
I
through
can't stay up that late.
15
I'm
minutes of
old.
it. No, it's fine, I am too, but I did really wanna see
Yeah.
because this is part of history, and it was too sad at the beginning, so I'm like, "Oh, I can't watch this." So I only got through the first 15 minutes of it, but it was enough for me to realize that I think that a giant mistake obviously has been made. Who knows what this may set aflame in the States? Who knows?
I think what's gonna end up happening is CBS is gonna end up losing.
I think they already are.
Yeah, they were holding on, but now it's gone. Everyone's gonna stop watching. They're all gonna end up turning to independent news sources, which is good and bad
And
in the
bad.
same way,
Yep,
because how do you know you're getting properly sourced news? How do you know that there is rules and regulations that they used to have to adhere to as
that's
a
right.
news source? There's nothing like that now.
I just hope that the kids behind us, the kids,
'Cause they're adults.
the generation that's behind us now. And I did say this to a family member, and I said I would hate to think that we're putting all of our hopes and dreams on you to change the mistakes that we made. But I think it's pretty much coming down to that,
Yeah,
where and they are and keep in mind, they really are a very different generation. They're not carrying the stuff that we carry because that's what they see. But that doesn't necessarily mean there's no fight. Oh, there's fight in them for
yeah,
sure. They're witnessing stuff that they don't like. And that means that they are the future.
mhm,
Um, and my heart goes out to them because I realize you got a big fight ahead of you, and
yeah.
I hope you prevail. That's what I hope.
Although so, yes, but so the next couple of generations are going to be good. I don't know what this Gen Alpha is gonna do.
Who are they?
They are the young ones. They're
Okay.
the youngest ones that are around right now. Evelyn was saying how there was somebody at the restaurant. She works at Lone Star Cantina. She's a server there, and she was serving this table. One of the first things they ask, "Are you celebrating anything today?" And it's this mom and her 7-year-old boy. And she goes, "Oh, no, we're just having a mother's son day." And Evelyn's like, "Oh, that's so cute." And she said, "I wanted to cry." Because the mom's sitting there, very lonely looking, not
Okay.
speaking, and the kid the entire time is watching whatever YouTube video or whatever TikTok scrolling on his phone, eating and not talking to his mom. And she was just like and the amount of kids that she sees that are like that, the amount of kids I've seen just in the grocery store and stores that are like these young kids that are just staring at their phone, not talking to anyone. There's no conversation happening between the mom and the child or anything. They're all just looking at their phone. And that was the one thing that Evelyn said. She goes, "There is no way that when I have kids, that my kids are going to have any kind of iPad or anything." And Emily has said it too. She's like, that stuff, any technology will be weighted until they're in high school. There's no need for it. When we were growing up, it was TV, right?
Of course.
Everyone was like, "Don't watch too much TV," whatever. We had Saturday morning cartoons that we spent watching TV, and we were usually kicked out in the middle of
Yep.
to go play outside.
Yep. Yep.
And now it's sitting on the couch playing games on their iPads.
I don't know who's a
And it's
mm,
so sad. And I said to her, I said, "I know you were very sad for the mom because she looked very lonely." I said,
but
"However, it is that mom's fault." I said, she wanted a break at one time. And yes, parents need a break when you have little kids sometimes just to kind of like get your head straightened. So they give them the iPad. They put on brain rot. Nothing is educational. It's all ridiculous. Literally, it's called brain rot, and they all watch it. This is where they get all their new words like skibbity toilet and
what? Oh,
oh
I
my
don't wanna
god.
know. I don't wanna know. I
No,
don't
you
want
don't.
to know.
You don't.
I
It's
just
ridiculous. And,
but
uh
they're allowed there's stupid stuff. We were
oh,
stupid,
yeah,
so
of
they get
course, we had
stupid stuff.
stupid stuff
Oh
too.
my
We
god.
had we had Gilligan's Island and,
Even
Three's
God,
Company.
I
They were
hated
ridiculous
Gilligan.
and stupid.
I hated that guy.
But at the same time, it was a half hour, it was over and done with, and then we were like our parents were like, "Go
Go
outside."
outside. I saw sorry, just the thing about Gilligan, I always just think, "Why don't they kill him?" Every time, this
I
stupid idiot would screw it up for them. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know how he
They
managed to
almost
live.
get off.
Oh my god, but yet, where did Ginger get all her gowns? That's what I wanted to know where it came from. Anyways,
And why is Thurston still wealthy?
I know.
The ground was not even, on them at that point? No, they were still the rich people.
Oh, it is a show that defies expectation. However,
Yeah.
but, no, Con did bring up a good point. We probably will address that in our next, episode because that in itself is a discussion just in terms of just how much things have
How
changed,
parenting
especially
has changed.
absolutely. But in the meantime, though, you did hear our thoughts about, healthcare. We always talk about that too, and of course, we talk about politics, but we're always curious to hear what you think about what you see out there, especially from our fellow Gen Xers.
Mhm,
We know that you are paying attention or maybe not totally paying attention, but you can't not notice changes.
mhm.
Um, and how it's affected you.
Yeah.
What's it doing? Like, are you optimistic for the future? Are you feeling a little bit weighed down by the stuff that's going on? We'd love to hear about it, right, Con?
Oh,
And you can
absolutely. You
absolutely
can
reach out to
comment at the
us.
bottom of this podcast, wherever it is that you're listening to us, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also reach out to us on all of our social medias, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram,
All of it.
all of it.
All of it. And we look forward to hearing from you because these are topics that should touch on you a little bit. If not, maybe other people that it might affect. It's all good for us, but we really do like to hear from you. So please reach out when you can. In the meantime, my
Absolutely.
friend, you have a fantastic day. I'm going to
Thank
try and see if we
you.
can get these glasses fixed.
That's a
Because
good idea.
you know, it's not good just to have one pair. You really should have more than one, especially at a
Yeah,
certain
you
age.
should.
All right, my friend, love you. I will talk to you
Love you
later.
too.
See you later,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.